My 24F fiancé 26 male wants to have a threesome. I don't. Now he's giving me the cold shoulder. I've been in a relationship with my fiancé for 4 years. We met in college, and after a wonderful journey together, he proposed last year. Our relationship has been adventurous in many ways, especially when it comes to our intimate life. I've only been with 2 other partners before him, and while our early experiences were pretty standard, we gradually became more open to exploring new things together. He has always been patient and understanding, helping me come out of my shell and discover what I enjoy. However, everything changed when he brought up the idea of having a threesome. I was completely taken aback. I had always thought we were on the same page regarding our intimate boundaries. In the past, we had discussed relationships and intimacy, and he had made it clear that he wasn't interested in polyamory or open relationships. So when he suggested a threesome, I was shocked. He explained that he thought it would be exciting and pleasurable for both of us. I immediately told him that I wasn't interested, not even willing to try it. He accepted my response at first, but then he kept bringing it up. It went from casual mentions to him begging me to consider it. I felt overwhelmed and frustrated. During one of our discussions, he became accusatory, questioning why I wouldn't agree to something he wanted, especially since I had been open to other experiences in the past. I tried to explain my feelings, emphasizing that there's a significant difference between exploring new positions or toys and introducing another person into our intimate space. As our conversations turned into arguments, I noticed a shift in his demeanor. He became distant, giving me the cold shoulder and hardly speaking to me. It felt like he was pouting around the house, and I was left feeling confused and hurt. I started to wonder if I needed to reconsider our relationship entirely. After sharing my experience online, I received a lot of support and advice. Many commenters pointed out that my fiancé's behavior was disrespectful and suggested that I should consider giving him an ultimatum. Some even speculated that he might have someone specific in mind to join us, which only fueled my anxiety. I couldn't shake the feeling that he might be hiding something from me. In the days that followed, I reflected on the situation. I reassured myself that my fiancé had never pressured me into anything I didn't want to do before. I had always felt safe expressing my boundaries, and he had respected them. Yet, the constant pressure about the threesome was a new and uncomfortable development. I also found myself grappling with paranoia, wondering if he was already cheating or had someone in mind. The thought was distressing, and I couldn't help but think of all the people we knew. I began to question everything about our relationship. As I navigated these feelings, I realized that I needed to have a serious conversation with him. It was essential to address not just the issue of the threesome, but also the underlying tension that had developed between us. I wanted to understand why this had become such a fixation for him, and whether it was worth fighting for our relationship, or if it was time to reevaluate our future together. Ultimately, I knew that communication was key. I hoped that by expressing my concerns and feelings honestly, we could find a way to either bridge the gap between us or come to a mutual understanding about our desires and boundaries moving forward. I found myself in a challenging situation recently, one that made me question the very foundation of my relationship. My fiancé, who is 26 years old, expressed a desire to explore a threesome. As a 24-year-old woman, I was taken aback by this suggestion. The idea of inviting another person into our intimate space felt overwhelming and uncomfortable to me. I understood that for some, this could be an exciting adventure, but for me, it was a hard no. Initially, I tried to approach the topic with an open mind. I even considered the possibility of choosing the third person, perhaps even another man, as a way to feel more secure. However, the thought of it still didn't sit right with me. I shared my feelings with him, and instead of a supportive conversation, I was met with silence and a cold shoulder. It was as if my discomfort was dismissed, and that left me feeling isolated. After some time to reflect, I realized I needed clarity. I took a day off work to gather my thoughts, and I reached out to him, suggesting we have a serious conversation when he got home. I wanted to approach this discussion calmly, without accusations or anger. He agreed, and when he arrived home late from work, we sat down to talk. I needed to know if he was cheating or if he had someone in mind for this threesome. He assured me, with a firm no, that he wasn't cheating and had no one lined up. He mentioned that the idea of a threesome was exciting to him, but it was more about the thrill of sharing an intimate moment together, rather than the act itself. Curious about his motivations, I asked him why he was so fixated on this idea. He admitted that he found the concept incredibly appealing and that it stemmed from a desire to see me pleased from a different perspective. He clarified that he didn't want an open relationship or anything polyamorous. He simply wanted to share my body for one night, while still being the one I loved. While this conversation was enlightening, it didn't resolve our differences. I expressed how uncomfortable I felt with the idea of being intimate with anyone else. Even if he was present, the thought of watching someone else make him feel good was distressing to me. I shared my fears that he might be attracted to someone else, and that his insistence on this arrangement made me feel unsafe for the first time in our relationship. It was a difficult moment, as I realized that my boundaries were not being respected. I told him that I felt he was giving me an ultimatum. Either I put myself in a situation that made me uncomfortable for his sake, or I faced his disappointment. He apologized repeatedly, acknowledging that he never meant to hurt me, and he didn't deny my feelings. In the end, we both recognized that our mindsets were incompatible. He wanted to explore this new territory, while I was firmly rooted in my discomfort. It was a pivotal moment for us, one that forced us to confront the realities of our relationship and what we truly wanted from each other. As we navigated this complex conversation, I realized that love and intimacy come with boundaries that must be respected, and sometimes those boundaries can lead to difficult decisions about the future of a relationship. I never thought I'd find myself in a situation like this, but here I am, grappling with the complexities of love and desire. My fiancé, who I adore, recently proposed the idea of having a threesome. To be honest, the thought of it made my stomach churn. I'm all for exploring new things in a relationship, but this felt like crossing a line I wasn't ready to approach. After a long conversation filled with mixed signals and confusion, I realized that we hadn't truly resolved the core issue at hand. I love him deeply, but this experience left me feeling shell-shocked. We hadn't made significant progress in planning our wedding, so I figured it wouldn't hurt to put things on pause. But as I sat with my thoughts, I began to wonder if I truly knew him as well as I thought I did. The future suddenly felt uncertain. In the days that followed, I sought advice from friends and online communities. Many people echoed my sentiments, urging me to trust my instincts. They pointed out that marriage is a monumental step, and if there's even a hint of insecurity, it's worth addressing. I felt a huge knot in my stomach, and the more I thought about it, the more it hurt. One comment struck me particularly hard. It suggested that my fiancé's desire to share my body with someone else felt selfish, especially since he seemed to prioritize his own needs over my comfort. This perspective resonated with me. I couldn't shake the feeling that he viewed me more as an object for his fantasies, rather than an equal partner with my own boundaries. When I confronted him about his reaction to my refusal, he admitted that he understood how saying "sharing my body" sounded gross, but he didn't know how else to express it. His anger at my refusal was baffling. Why was he so upset? It was as if he had never truly considered my feelings before. As I continued to reflect on our relationship, I began to question whether this was a deal breaker. I had turned down his suggestions in the past, and he had accepted it without issue. But this time felt different. The repeated insistence on the threesome made me feel like my boundaries were being disregarded. Eventually, I reached a point of clarity. My fiancé needed to confront the underlying issues that led to his reaction. I knew I had to take a step back for my own well-being, so I made the difficult decision to end things for now. I needed to focus on myself and process everything that had happened. I found solace in staying with a friend and indulging in ice cream, my own little grief ritual. It was a tough pill to swallow, but I knew it was necessary. As I prepared to delete my account and move on from this chapter, I felt a mix of sadness and relief. I had learned a lot about myself and what I want in a relationship. The journey ahead may be uncertain, but I'm determined to find clarity and peace.